Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Vinod Shinde, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Shankarao Chavan Mahavidyalaya, Ardhapur, District, Nanded. Today we will discuss about the Unit 2, Water Microbiology, in the paper Applied Microbiology, paper number 6. Before moving forward with water microbiology, want to discuss some points. That is, water is the basic need of life. It is the major constituent of protoplasm and plays a vital role in metabolism. It is a universal solvent for solid nutrients which facilitates their absorption and digestion. In the enzymes catalyzing important metabolic processes require water for their activity. It also acts as a source of hydrogen and oxygen for the microbial growth. For green plants and algae, the primary producers, water serves as a source of electron or hydrogen donor in photosynthesis. Nearly three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered by water, mainly the oceans, and to lesser extent or lesser degree by rivers, lakes, and streams. The water is in the continuous circulation in its different forms. The process is known as water cycle. Sources of water are differentiated into atmospheric water, surface water, groundwater. The microorganisms are added in surface water from the source, such as atmosphere, sewage, soil, and decaying organic matter, etc. The factors such as temperature, hydrostatic pressure, sunlight, pH, salinity, etc. effects on the growth of marine microorganisms. The marine habitats have a characteristic microflora adapted for hydrostatic pressure, salinity, and temperature. The organisms growing at high hydrostatic pressure are called barophytes, whereas those growing at high salinity are called halophytes. In this lecture, we will discuss about a type of water, sources of microorganisms in water, index of water pollution, different indicator microorganisms, coliform bacteria, microbial examination of water, and waterborne diseases. The algae, I further elaborate, the algae are dominant in the stagnant water bodies, rich in minerals and available with intense light. The heterotrophic bacteria, fungi, and actinomycetes are active in turbid water bodies, rich in organic compounds. Microorganisms in aquatic system have specific interrelationship among them, as well as the aquatic animals and other living organisms. The water used for drinking purpose must be free from pathogenic microorganisms, suspended matters, and toxic chemicals. Not only a sufficient quantity of, but also a good quality of water is essential for healthy life. The drinking water used by human beings and other animals must be clean and free from pathogenic microorganisms, any harmful chemicals and physical agents. The water which is absolutely safe for health is referred as potable water. Water acts as a good source for number of bacterial and viral pathogens of human beings. Hence, microbial analysis of water is very essential as the direct detection of pathogenic bacteria in water is practically difficult Bacteriological analysis of water involves detection of index organisms like coliforms. Various qualitative and quantitative methods are used for microbial analysis of water. Many pathogenic protozoa and viruses also cause waterborne diseases. Addition of any physical, chemical, and biological agent in water which affects the health of human beings, other animals, and plants is referred to as water pollution. It is one of the most serious problems not only in India but throughout the world. Microorganism acts as strong pollutant of water and various diseases are spread through drinking water. However, sometimes microorganisms are also significant to minimize the chemical pollution of water. They, are, they either remove or detoxify the chemical pollutants. The process called bioremediation. Degradation of oil spills on the surface of marine water, usually metabolically active cultures of microorganisms, important is an important example. Microorganisms remove the metals or heavy metals from polluted water by mechanism of precipitation, bioabsorption, bioaccumulation. Microorganisms also catalyze bioremediation of pesticides and other complex organic compounds. Various physical and chemical methods are used for purification of drinking water. Sedimentation, filtration, boiling, and use of UV radiation are some of the important physical methods used to purify natural bodies of water. Chemical methods used for purification of water involve the use of lime, chlorine, ozone, potassium permanganate, etc. In addition to the efforts made for purification of water, awareness in public is equally important to avoid the contamination of water from different resources and human activities. We should not think in a selfish manner, but instead must think to save the nature and take care of others. In this topic, we'll discuss about the type of waters, sources of microorganisms in water, index of water pollution, indicator organisms, coliform bacteria, microbial examination of water, waterborne diseases. In the type of water, the water receives its bacterial content from air, soil, sewage, organic waste, dead plants, and animals. This means that at times almost any organism may be found in water. Natural waters are commonly grouped into four well-marked classes: atmospheric water, surface water, stored water, and groundwater. Atmospheric water is the moisture contained in clouds and precipitated as snow, sleet, hail, and rain constitute atmospheric water. The microflora of this water is contributed by air. Microorganisms in air are attached to the dust particles and other suspended solids which are washed by rainwater. The atmospheric water that later drops on the surface is free from microorganisms and dust. Although this water is microbiologically safe for health, it does not contain any minerals that are essential for growth. It is tasteless like distilled water. This organism this atmospheric water is free from microorganisms. The water from lakes, streams, rivers, or oceans represents surface water. These water sources are usually contaminated with microorganisms from soil and any waste dumped into it. The number and kind of microorganism vary with its source and the geographical, biological, and climatic conditions. This is the widely used source of water for agriculture, industries, and domestic purposes. This source of water generally contains variety of organic and inorganic compounds in dissolved form, which denotes total dissolved solids or TDS of water. Limited concentration of essential minerals dissolved in water imparts acceptable taste to the water. The surface water is widely contaminated from different sources and may contain microorganisms as well as physical and chemical agents hazardous for health. Pollution of surface water is one of the most important problems. Microorganisms and other suspended matters can be removed by using ultrafilters with the pore size of microns. The surface water is nothing but water. As soon as the rain drops and snowflakes touch the earth, they become contaminated by microorganisms in the soil. These are then known as surface waters. The extent of contamination is dependent upon the number of organisms in the soil and also upon the kind and quantity of food material dissolved out of the soil by the water. The first result of the mild rain is the is to greatly increase the bacterial contamination of the body of water. A prolonged rain exerts an opposite effect owing to the fact that after the main impurities have been removed from the upper layer of the soil, the subsequent rainfall acts merely as a diluent of the body of water. Rivers usually show their highest count during rainy periods of microorganisms. The next is the stored water. The effect of storage is to greatly decrease the number of organisms in the water. The force which tends to produce bacterial self-purification now comes into play. These are sedimentation, activities of other organisms, ultraviolet light, temperature, food supply, and perhaps osmotic effects. Bacteria have a specific gravity slightly greater than that of the distilled water, which means that they will slowly settle in the still body of water. However, the greatest factor responsible for the sedimentation of bacteria is their attachment to the suspended particle. Predatory protozoa present in water play an important role in decreasing the number of bacteria. Protozoa requires living or dead bacteria for food and easily engulf large number of these organisms, provided the water contains a sufficient dissolved oxygen. In the absence of bacteria and dissolved oxygen, the protozoa gradually disappears. Direct sunlight is toxic to vegetative bacterial cell and even to spores if the action is sufficiently prolonged. Diffuse light is less effective as a sterilizing agent. In the water supply, the toxicity of ultraviolet light is inversely proportional to its turbidity. In other words, the light ray is practically without action in turbid water. In clear waters, ultraviolet rays may have effect to a depth of about 1 to 3 meters. Increasing temperature exerts a harmful effect upon the survival of some organisms in water, especially those capable of producing diseases. On the other hand, certain on the other hand, multiplication, certain soil and intestinal forms may actually occur when the temperature of water is increased. An increase in food supply usually results in the increase in the bacterial number. The certain toxic substances such as acids and bases produce marked reduction in the number of viable organisms. Various dissolved gases such as carbon dioxide and hydrogen also show a toxic effect. Environmental factors generally produce marked fluctuation in the bacterial counts. Stored water, after that we have groundwater. Groundwater are in general relatively free from bacteria because of the filtering action of earth through which the water has penetrated. This filtering action removes not only most of the bacteria but also any suspended organic food particles. Deep wells usually contain fewer organisms than water from shallow wells, owing to the deeper layers of the filtering material. Groundwater is the most pure form of water with respect to particulate matter, toxic chemicals, and microorganisms. Hence, this is the safest source of carbon, source of water for drinking purpose. Microorganisms and suspended particles are removed by filtration through rock layers, depending on the permeability of soil and depth to which the water penetrates. Groundwater is generally not contaminated by external sources. Wells less than 100 feet depth are considered to be shallow. Wells and springs that are probably properly located provide water of good quality. However, in it may contain excess minerals, some of which, like fluorides, are harmful for human health. These minerals can be minimized to acceptable level by reverse osmosis and other processes. Commercial water purifiers of different companies are available in the market, which removes microorganisms as well as excess harmful minerals from and organic compounds from the water. These are the types of water. In the next point, we will discuss